Back on the MSG 150 at home presented by Chase. Great to have you with us as we continue on. Bill Pito, Monica McNutt, and Alan Hahn. And it's great to say hello to former Giants running back Brandon Jacobs, now a football coach in the Atlanta area. Brandon, it's so great to see you. How are things going for you and your family in Atlanta?
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Football is, we working out, me and my family. Got my wife out. We all working out. It's just quarantine things, man. But everything's going great. Coaching high school football, running the youth program, just living and enjoying life, man. Just got a chance to be around, watch my kids grow, and so on and so forth. It's been really good.
Now, Brandon, last week, a number of star players in the NFL put together a video message, and it's resulted in a major change in policy in the NFL. What's your reaction to that?
I thought it was great. It had a lot of influential names throughout the NFL that were a part of the video, and I've heard it wasn't the NFL had nothing to do with it. The guys just decided to come together and get it done, which makes it even better. It's genuine. It's genuine, and it was really needed.
How important was it for Joe Judge to meet with the players after the Drew Brees incident situation, his comments, and to talk to the players and get on the level with them about what's going on right now?
Well, I don't know Coach Judge very well, but for him to do that and step out, I guess, of his comfort zone and do that, it shows the players, that they do mean something to him, and that he wants to build a family atmosphere, and pretty much he did what he had to do. I think is big time for the New York Giants and their franchise, for your head coach to be to have done something like
that. Brandon, definitely applaud the step by the head coach. But if you were still currently in a locker room, how do you think those comments would have been handled?
I'm a little older now, but I will admit right now at this point that it would not have went as smooth as 28-year-old Brandon Jacobs is different than 37-year-old Brandon Jacobs, and I would have been pissed. I would have been mad, and I would have reached out to Drew in many different ways until I got him on the phone and let him know how I truly felt.
Brandon, you were on two Giants teams that won Super Bowls. You know all about the importance of off-season preparation. How do you think it's going to be for these guys now, given what's going on in the country with the virtual workouts and things like that? A huge departure from normal to get ready for a new season.
Well, it's definitely going to throw a wrench in a lot of things. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take want to. A lot of these players are going to have to show how much it really means to them. By working out without anybody watching, without anybody telling you, without having that report day or those three. What it was when I was playing at this time, it was like a workout at 9:30, a workout at 11:30, and a workout at 1:30. You had to go to one of those three, to get you credit for your workouts.
All that considered, the Giants beefed up the O-line in the draft. You've got a young quarterback in Daniel Jones, elite running back in Saquon Barkley. Do you think that this could still be a year that they could springboard and be a big-time contender?
I think, they've gotten Saquon they've gotten Saquon a counterpart now that I feel that they can trust. Beefing up the offensive line is huge. It's big time. But here's the question: they beefed up the O-line before, and year in, year out, the line has gotten better, per se. So I don't know really how it's going to happen. It's just all what type of offense that they run, because they got a whole new scheme now. So I'm not sure what type of offense that they're going to run to be able to let Saquon get loose. I wish they let him get loose, and I wish that, it is a style of offense that that fit his ability. I want my team to be on the top, like they know how to be on the top, and I'm sitting here waiting for it, and I'm anxious for a good Giants football season.
Offensive line obviously critical here to see if they have finally solved it, as Dave Gettleman said. But for Saquon now in year 3, after having an injury last year and having a great rookie season, how important is this year for him personally?
Well, this year is very important. It was his third season, and he's getting closer to that contract year. And, being a running back in that contract year, you got to put up 9 million yards in order to get something that's worth having. So he got to this is one of those years where they can say they can re him up by the end of the year or take him into next year and do it. But he's definitely close, and he definitely need to have a good season, which I know he can have. The man has outstanding ability. There's no one with ability like Saquon. There's no one with the size. There's no one with the speed. There's no one with the quickness. There's no one with the strength. The guy's a generational football player. So it's this year, I wish he rushed for like 1,900 yards.
Brandon, when you were with the Giants, first you shared the backfield with Tiki Barber and then Ahmad Bradshaw. What do you think about the acquisition of Dion Lewis and how that's going to affect Barkley and how things go with the Giants running game?
Well, I think picking up Dion Lewis, I think it was a big-time pickup. He was a guy who was a starter once before, and coming to be that counterpart of Saquon Barkley, I think it can be really big. I think it can help our offense out because Dion Lewis can also play in the pass game. Not not that Saquon can't. The kid can run between tackles and play in the pass game. So you got two backs that can pretty much do a lot of the same things. Just ability is a little different.
Obviously, we touched on your Super Bowls playing alongside one Eli Manning. When you think back, what do you think of when you think of Eli as a quarterback, and how might he respond right now in the locker room, considering someone like a Drew Brees in the comments that he's made?
Well, Easy E, I would select no other quarterback to play my career with the New York Giants. Let's get that out there because Easy E is the man. I love him to death. I'm not sure how he would have taken these comments though. He's pretty when it comes to stuff like this. I would say he's kind of like an introvert. He would just make sure that we keep our eyes on the prize, stay focused, keep our eyes on the prize, do what you want, say what you want, but don't let that take you off. Break your focus of what we're trying to do. I think that's more along the lines of what he would have done.
Think about your time with the Giants, and I got to ask this. I know you guys have talked about this in the past, certainly as well. 12-win team in 2008, on your way, win the division, and you don't win the Super Bowl that year. You're losing in the playoffs to the Eagles. You win the Super Bowl a couple of years later. You had a chance at 3 there in a 5-year span, which some people would consider that to be a dynasty. You look back and always wonder, and I know you've commented on it, so I'm setting you up, but just wonder what could have been for that team.
No question, dynasty. No question at all. I think we beat everybody. We beat the Steelers and we beat the Cardinals at their house. We beat them at their home. Can you imagine, us getting past Philly and Arizona having to come to Jersey to play in the NFC Championship game in the nasty weather, coming from an indoor stadium and where it never rains or get cold. It's always hot there. So they would have had to come to us in nasty weather to play a team that was dominating in the run game. A team that had a really good pass game. A team that had a well-rounded football team that was, I'll probably say we were the best football team in the National Football League that year. Easy. We had some things happen that kind of changed it and it kind of changed our focus and kind of killed us at the end of the year. But I think we earned the dynasty name if we win it that year.
All right. Hey, Brandon, so great to see you. Best to you and your family. Have a great summer, okay?
Hey, you guys, thanks for having me on.
Up next, Shaquille O'Neal and his advice for the New Orleans Saints. We'll discuss that when we come back next on the MSG 150 at Home, presented by Chase.